We wanted to ask you, what was it that first drew you into Mexican cooking, and where did you first develop that love of Mexican food?
You know, when I went to Mexico for the first time at 14 years old, I just almost felt like I had come home. It was like all of the things that just made me feel so great, the food, the smells, the culture, the music, everything about it I just really loved. And so I've really focused on that for my whole professional career.
Great. Yeah, we love your cooking. We've been to your restaurant before.
Thank you.
Many of our users love to try ethnic dishes, especially Mexican food as well. But what should they know about Mexican cooking before they really start to get into some of the more technical dishes?
Well, the basics that you need to know, of course, is how to make a good guacamole, because everybody wants one for their party, right? So you got to master that. You got to learn how to make that and make sure that that avocado is completely soft and ready for making guacamole. Learn how to add just the right amount of each ingredient. Stay away from sour cream or any dry mixes or anything like that, because those are not going to give you an authentic flavor, a clean, beautiful flavor. So that's the first thing that you got to do. And then, of course, a couple of simple taco fillings is going to be a really good addition to that.
Great. And then when you come home and cook for yourself, what's your go-to weeknight meal?
My weeknight meals are all done at the restaurant because I'm a restaurant chef, so I don't really have one of those. And on the weekends, I'm always cooking for my friends, for my family, so I always try to do something really big. So I don't really have an answer for that, but I can tell you that if I had to go to something really quick, it probably would be scrambled eggs, because I always have some really great eggs on hand, and I can always raid the refrigerator for some other beautiful and delicious thing to mix into it.
Sounds good.
So you've won many awards and honors over the years. Is there any award that particularly sticks out in your mind, or one that you're extremely proud of?
During the Beard Awards a number of years ago, I received one for Humanitarian of the Year for all of my work with not-for-profit organizations, and especially for our foundation, which is the Frontera Farmer Foundation, because we really focus a lot on the relationship between local agriculture and those that live in that community, whether they're buying it through a restaurant or through a farmer's market. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about today, because we want to get everybody out there growing things so that they have really wonderful fresh produce, and hopefully from their backyard garden, or maybe from their back porch garden, because you could easily grow a lot of stuff in a self-watering box that you just put out on your back porch. For people that are not very comfortable gardening, they haven't done very much of it, these boxes are really great because you can put water in the bottom of them, and then that'll soak up through the soil, keeping everything evenly moist. Literally in 3 weeks, if you had a sunny spot, you could have a lettuce harvest and make your own beautiful salads or grow some herbs or something like that. I mean, it's just so satisfying. You know where your food came from, and at the same time, you have the satisfaction of having watched the plant go through its whole cycle of life, and you got to harvest some from it. So you're supplying a little bit of what you like to eat by cooking it, by growing it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And going along with that, aside from what you can grow in your garden, what do you think is an essential ingredient that every chef should have in their kitchen?
In their kitchen. Oh, well, if it's Mexican food, I would probably say these chipotle chilies that I've got all set up here to make a dish with you guys from today, because this is the kind of thing that can add a very authentic flavor to a dish, and you can buy cans of chipotle chilies in practically any grocery store that you find these days. They're a very popular flavor. Now, if you are one of those backyard gardeners that likes to grow tomatoes, which is like everybody's wants that backyard vine-ripened tomato, then I've got a dish set up here that I can show you how to make that I think is just super delicious. And if you have the satisfaction of having pulled the tomatoes off your own plant in your backyard, this is going to be even that much better. But in Mexican cooking, people roast ingredients a lot before they make sauces out of them, and this is no exception. I've taken these beautiful ripe tomatoes and roasted them under a broiler that took about 5 or 6 minutes per side. And then if you want to make a simple sauce out of roasted tomatoes and give it that chipotle flair, you chop up some of the chipotles that you find in the can, put them into the blender jar. I'm going to underscore the smoky flavor with a little bit of smoked paprika and a spoonful of salt, and then blend that up until it's completely smooth. And then this is what it'll look like right over here. And if you want to turn that roasted tomato and chipotle sauce into a very simple but beautiful dish that's great party fare, I'm going to do it with sauteed shrimp. So the first thing you do is with a pan that's heated over medium to medium-high heat, you add a little chopped garlic to that. And when that flavor just fills the kitchen with its beautiful aroma there, that garlic flavor, then add to it the chipotle and tomato puree, stir that around, then add some shrimp to the pan. This will take about 3 minutes for it to coat beautifully, and all of the flavors of the chipotle will go right into the shrimp. And right before you serve it, I like to drizzle in a little bit of chicken broth, which will not only enrich it, but it'll soften the sauce to be the right kind of clinging consistency. And when those shrimp are done, this is what you have, a beautiful dish just there. And just think about how much more beautiful it would be if you grew those tomatoes in your own garden. Now, of course, that's what the Seeds of Change people are going for. So they are giving away 100 million seeds. Really, honest to goodness, 100 million seeds. And all you have to do to get your share of them is to go to seedsofchangefoods.com, and they'll send you 25 packets of seeds for free. It's a pretty amazing deal. That should encourage all of us to get outside and get something into the ground.
Yeah, it's a great program and a delicious recipe. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Very nice to be with the two of you.
Thank you.